The love that a father, a godly father, has for his family, for his children, is the same love as God the Father has for us. An unconditional love, followed by forgiveness. An unconditional, agape love. We don't tell our children, if you act right, I'll love you. Or at least we shouldn't. God didn't tell us that either. God says, I love you this much. And His Son stretched His hands out for us. An unconditional love. A godly father loves his family sacrificially. In other words, he puts their needs ahead of his own. He puts their needs and their wants before his, demonstrating God's love for them and to them. And we can see a beautiful picture of this in a prodigal son. And I see the blank looks for a moment, but bear with me. In Luke chapter 15, verse 20, we see a beautiful picture of a father who has given the son everything he asked for. This son has left. He squandered it all. Now he's decided to come back home and be a servant. Well, in verse 20, we see a father who loves a son. And what I mean by that, we see in the last part of verse 20, it says, and when he was still a great ways off, his father saw him. This father had been looking for this son. He had been watching for his return because he loved him. Not because of vengeance, not because of anger. He loved his son. It says when he saw him, it said, and had compassion. Fathers, that's a perfect example for fathers today, to love their children with a compassion that this world can't give us. It even says that he ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. Understand this. At that time, in that time in history, men wore long outfits to cover their legs. Why? Because it was shameful to show their ankles. It was shameful to show their bare skin. And this man ran to meet his son. He didn't worry about that shame. He loved his son that much. He had that much compassion that he ran to his son to hug him, to kiss him. Fathers, that tells us today that we should have so much compassion for our children, no matter what they do, no matter how frustrating they can be sometimes. We are to fill them with the love as God fills us with love. He was filled with compassion.